Hi, Gena here. I'm back and I'm gonna talk about volume today. I love volume. I think everyone should have volume. It's very in. It should always be in. That's my opinion about it. I think most people look better with a bit of root lift. Doesn't have to be like volume all over, although I do love that look. I love like that natural hair, like the bigger the better look. I think that's awesome. But with my own hair, I definitely like my roots lifted. I feel like my face looks better when I have voluminous hair at the root. I don't know if it's just because it kind of elongates my face, which I tend to think that it's pretty round, but I think most people look good with a bit of volume. I have always struggled with this. I tend to have the least amount of volume on my first day after my wash. Always does this comb thing and just lays flat, and then I have texture in the rest of my hair, and unless I flat iron it, it just does this kind of wide triangle thing no matter how many layers I have in my hair, and I have a good amount of layers in there. I've experimented a lot with different techniques and different products, and I wanted to show you what I found works for myself and what I try and do in the salon to give volume to different textures of hair. The two factors that create flat hair are hair growth patterns and the density of your hair shaft, meaning if you have super fine hair, that can sometimes lay really flat. I have kind of medium texture hair. Throughout the week, that bit of oil and natural grit from my scalp ends up lifting my hair roots up, helping create that lift, but I always have to do other tactics throughout the week in order to maintain the shape up here that gives me the volume. And I will share with you my go-to trick at the end, which I feel is quick and easy, doesn't require heat, super cheap to do, but I'll go over first all the methods that I've tried and some of which I actually use in the shop. As usual, I would love to hear if you have mastered a way to get your roots to be voluminous. I welcome any education you can give me or the people that read the comments below. So if you want to just enter them in down there, that would be great. And if you want to learn my tactics, keep on watching. So volume starts in the shower. What you put on your hair is integral for the rest of the week and how much volume you can get. There's definitely certain shampoos and conditioners that make a difference. A lot of us try to go as long as possible without washing. I am someone that goes a full 7 days between my washes, and so by the time I shampooing, I have quite a bit of buildup in my hair and of dry shampoo and just my natural oils and whatever else I've been putting in my hair depending on what style I've been wearing. And so I need to be able to remove all that. If you are using a shampoo that is pretty light and everyday kind of shampoo that's pretty gentle, that's not really gonna be enough of a detergent in there to remove all the buildup. So I recommend using something that maybe has sulfates in them, has more of a detergent. Granted, you have to be careful with those if you have color that you're worried about fading. So if you've got color that's covering gray or a red color that tends to fade very quickly, you'll want to use, instead of a sulfate shampoo, you'll want to use a clarifying shampoo that's color safe, and that will remove the buildup. Also, your water can be a factor in adding buildup in your hair, which can weigh your hair down, and so those minerals need to be taken out, and there are certain shampoos that are good for that. The one that I am using right now is Malibu's Hard Water Wellness. That's been working pretty well at removing my week-long buildup. So, in addition to your shampoo, many people condition. I condition. Some people with really super fine hair can get away without conditioning. And I even will recommend that if you have strong hair and it's super fine. Sometimes conditioner, no matter which one it is, can be it's just going to be a little bit too heavy and will make your hair oilier quicker. So if you're not heat styling your hair or coloring it or processing it in very many ways, you can totally get away with not using conditioner. But for those of us that need to use conditioner, sometimes, and I find even with my hair, a lot of conditioners really weigh down my roots, or they make them tend to look oily like a couple days after I wash. And really, I'm trying to extend my wash throughout the week and not have to use dry shampoo every day. So I use a conditioner in a way that allows me to do that. You can use whatever conditioner you want. To me, it's about how you apply it. How I've found that works for me with my hair and how long I want to go without washing my hair is to apply my shampoo at the roots and then rinse my hands and apply the conditioner through my lengths and ends, because really that is how you should be applying these two products anyways. So shampoo only goes on the roots and conditioner only on the ends. And you can do it separately. You can do your shampoo first and your rinse it out and then put on your conditioner and do it that way. But I find that a lot of times I'm using a pretty heavy conditioner or a mask, and they're just too heavy for me to be able to go full 7 days with doing it separately. So I will put on my shampoo and at the same time put on my conditioner on my ends and just let the shampoo kind of rinse off my conditioner. It's not going to completely negate the conditioner. It's just going to take off a little bit of that residue in it. I'm usually someone that will brush my hair out before I get in the shower, so I'm not really using the conditioner so much as a detangler, although sometimes I will utilize my handy tangle tamer in the shower with the conditioner in it, and that helps a lot with detangling and getting my hair ready to rinse. When I'm going through my hair after I've gotten out of the shower, I still have that detangled quality, even though I've just rinsed shampoo through my ends. Some people will even do their conditioning before their shampoo. So if you're doing a mask, that you want to keep on for a long time, and sometimes masks can do the same thing, just like weigh the hair down, even though, you know, they're great. I use masks all the time. I use a mask by Pravana that's purple that helps me tone my hair, and sometimes I'll do that before the shampoo or sometimes during the shampoo. But you can totally do it before the shampoo as well. And if you're keeping that mask on for a long period of time and you don't want to be in the shower that whole time, it's a good way to just put it on before you're even in the shower. That is the first step that I take in creating voluminous roots. I don't condition my roots at all, and I try not to weigh down the rest of my hair too much with conditioner. When I get out of the shower, I'm ready to put in product. I'll towel dry my hair, and depending on how I'm gonna wear it, I may brush it out, or I may just use my microfiber towel and kind of just scrunch my hair. I usually will put in a product at my roots to enhance volume, but also to kind of create a drying, absorbing ingredient at my roots, so that as the days wear on and I'm creating more oil at my root, that it's helping absorb some of that. For me, what works on my hair is this Kevin Murphy Body.Mass. It's a leave-in conditioning, volumizing product. And I just put this at my roots. I just spray it in. I'm usually just kind of lifting up my roots, and I spray it in kind of underneath, just in the crown area. I'm not interested in putting it down here. Most volume products are drying, and that's great at your roots. Your roots are usually the most conditioned part of your hair because they get all that oil. So you can totally get away with using something with alcohol, salt, sodium chloride in your volumizer. Yeah, avoid the ends because all this needs conditioning. I also like to use a salt spray on my roots. And in the past, I've used a Body.Mass one. I've used a Bumble one. They have a surf spray that I love. Those all are very nice at the roots too. They will absorb extra moisture and lift the hair, and they're very drying, and sometimes they almost feel a little too drying and kind of hinder if I'm going to do a blowout with a brush. I feel like they kind of create more breakage just because they make the hair a little bit more brittle. So in those cases, it's great for air drying. The salt sprays I think are great for if you're gonna air dry or not do any brush work at your root. And then thirdly, I like mousses. My favorite mousse that I like right now is the Living Proof Full Volume Mousse. That's what I use in the salon a lot of the time. And I go through it very quickly. And that's the only thing with that product. There's just not very much in there, and it goes like that. But I'm always on the search for that miracle volumizing product that's gonna actually lift the roots. I've tried a ton, and I just don't feel like very many do anything more than help you extend your wash day. I don't feel like they actually give you volume. I just feel like they help keep your roots from getting oily. Another spray that I like is the Ouai, and Ouai is spelled O-U-A-I, I believe. I'll put a link below. They have a volume spray that I love as well. I will use that in the salon, and I like that one in particular because most volume sprays are very matte and most salt sprays are very matte, but that one is it's got a bit of a shine to it, which is why I really like it. It gets volume and it creates a shine that's not going to weigh down the hair. So that's another one of my favorites. So after applying my product, then I will do whatever I'm gonna do for my style to get my hair in a lifted state. So if I'm blowing out my hair to be straight, or I'm kind of like round brushing it, then that's when I'm gonna use, well, I usually always use my spray. Also use a heat protectant, of course, and the one that I like for that's pretty weightless is Ouai's Memory Mist. Kenra also has a good one. They've got two, one that adds more shine and is heavier and has some smoothing qualities, but I find that their lighter version of that, and I'll put a link below, works better for creating a weightless protection. Living Proof also has a heat protectant that's perfectly weightless as well. I'll link that below. If you're going to blow dry your hair, and obviously my hair is dry right now, and I am just going over the tactics that I've tried before, but I don't necessarily use these tactics on myself on a regular basis. I do use these methods in the salon on my clients. So I usually put on their root product, be it a mousse or a spray, and I will go ahead and I'll blow dry the hair, rough drying it. And when I say rough drying, I'm not using a brush at that point. I'm just using my fingers and kind of directing the hair that way, or with a bent brush. And a bent brush is a brush that has, as you can see here, has spaces so that the airflow with your hair dryer can go through that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the direction of your hair follicles and how that plays a factor in how much volume you get. To create volume, you want to go in the opposite direction as your hair follicles. And many people don't even know which way their hair follicles are directed, or their hair growth pattern is directed. It's usually only when we have like a major calic, that we are cognizant of the direction of our hair, the way our hair is growing. So most of those happen at the crown and in the front hairline. So my hair grows that direction in the front. And I don't know if you can even see there that from that distance, but it grows that way in the front, and it does all sorts of things in the back. It has a split, and you know, anyhow, some people can get away with just flipping their hair upside down and rough drying that way. And usually those are the people where their growth patterns are kind of going away from their face and going back, so that if they're blowing in the opposite direction, i.e. upside down, that is going to give them the most volume. Now for myself, that doesn't work for me. I don't know why, but I still end up with a cone look in my hair. So I have to blow dry in a different way. So for me, the growth pattern goes back this way, and on this side, it kind of does the opposite. So when I blow dry my hair, I am cognizant about directing the airflow in back here and pushing and directing it back this way. So, and when I blow dry my hair, I'm holding the ends like this and blow drying the hair this way. I will show you. So that's what I mean about like blow drying my hair back and holding at the bottom to lift the roots and get that kind of like bended state like that. Another tactic for getting volume is to blow dry your hair on the opposite side that you normally wear it. If you normally wear, like I wear my hair on that side, I could blow dry my hair on this side and then flip it back at the end after it's cooled. There are also other methods that are way more involved than I like to do, and those are blow drying your hair and then putting in rollers. So what I mean by that is like taking one of these Velcro rollers and rolling your hair around like that and wearing that. And sometimes, like usually I'm doing a pretty big section. To get it to stay, I need to put in a clip. And so I'll just put a clip like that and like that. See, and that'll get it to stay. And then you let your hair cool for a certain amount of time in this state, and then spray it, or even spray it before you even put it in. Either way, but that is a tactic for getting volume as well. The whole point is to get your roots to cool in a lifted state. And so there's different methods of doing that, and this is one of them. If you're going to wear your hair curly, this is why I don't like to use these, because they tend to rip out hair. I don't know if you can see the little hairs that just got ripped out there. You can also get that look just by making your own kind of pin curl by wrapping your hair around like this, and then adding a clip, like one of these creaseless clips with the little protector, and you can just put that in there like that and have it air dry like that. And that ends up kind of giving you some wave in your hair like that when you take it down. If you want to be cognizant of that, you could do it forward like this. And some people, they'll get more volume rolling it forward versus back, depending on the way that your hair follicles like to grow. So you might want to just experiment one day with rolling it backwards versus forwards and find out which one gives you the most volume. You can also just blow out your hair with a round brush. I think most people do that, and I've done that. And really the best way to do that is to section your hair off into sections, starting with the underneath. So you pin up all this hair up top here and go through and blow dry, and just be cognizant of round brushing with your section so that you're either lifting straight out from your roots or even up further than your roots, so you're kind of off base is what they call that, depending on if you want curl at the bottom or not. You could, you know, roll the hair all the way around this, roll it up and hold it there, and then wait a bit and then do your cool shot, which is this button here. It's usually up top. Once it's cool, release it. And then you'll just go through and you'll do it section by section, taking out your next layer, which will be this layer here, and round brushing at the root, cool blasting it, But even then, for me, when I do that, and even when I do that in the salon, it will be lifted for maybe a second and then it will just kind of collapse. And so really the best way is to get it to cool in a lifted state for a longer period of time. So if you can blow dry your hair and then set it either in rollers or in clips, that really is, I think, the most long-lasting volume. So the traditional method of getting volume in the hair has been to use a round brush. And round brushes that have kind of a ceramic core here are great for adding smoothness and heating your hair up without it, well, kind of keeping it protected at the same time. And when I do my hair, I'm usually focusing the round brush again on the surface of the hair. That's really what I'm concerned about, making voluminous. And when I do this, I either go forward like this and roll this way, up like that. Sometimes I'll go the opposite way like that. Both, you know, up like that. And then for this hair here, I'm usually kind of bringing it to the opposite side like that, so that I'm blow drying it this way, and then I will blow dry underneath that way and cool shot it with the nozzle underneath and then on top like that. And then the best way is to still keep it in that lifted state afterwards. That lifted state for me is a claw clip. This one's very big, so it covers a good amount of my head. It's round, so it doesn't create too much of a crease. It's got these rubber little grippy knobs in there, so it stays in place. And I just will grab one side of my hair along my parietal ridge here, and then I'll grab the other side. I'll lift it up like this, because sometimes it doesn't want to go any further. So I'll lift it up like that to get it in, and I will let it dry like this. And this gets my roots, look underneath how they're being pulled, that gets them to dry and gives me like these nice kind of bevels at the corner here where it makes a nice kind of shape. Because I tend to do a cone thing where I may have a little bit of height maybe right here, and then it'll be flat, and then I'll have my poofy hair on the sides, and that never looks good. So, and then I'll do another one in front to create volume here. And so for me, I need to pull my hair the opposite direction, that direction. So I will take, I'll kind of fold this hair back, and I'll take it again, one side at the parietal ridge, and then the other over here at the parietal ridge. And that is the beautiful state of how I let my hair cool down. And I'll wear this at night when I sleep. It's like comfortable enough to do that, and these stay pretty good in place. Sometimes I'll even try and put my hair up in a ponytail in the same state and work out this way. You know, I'm not concerned about being beautiful with this. The whole point is to become beautiful after, when I have to see other people. Unfortunately, my husband has to see me this way, and he sees all sorts of crazy hair configurations, but it's just all an investment in doing less work to make my hair look good. If I am doing a curly haired client or I'm wearing my hair curly too, sometimes I'll do the claw clip method, and sometimes I do this other method that also helps with root lifting, and that is I will take a section of hair that I want lifted here, and then I'll take one of these creaseless clips and I will put it in kind of, you know, kind of vertically like that. So it's, let me get all of that there, but it's kind of lifting the hair up so that it dries like that. So I'll do different pieces kind of all in this crown area. Usually I'm doing them kind of more vertical, vertical like this, like that. And then this way I can twist the hair in a scrunch or have it in its, you know, curly configuration and have the roots lifted and drying in a lifted state. And then when it's all dry after I've diffused it or it's air dried all the way, then I go ahead and I take these out very carefully without trying to disturb this chunk too much. But usually that kind of gets a similar kind of lifted state. I also want to mention another go-to product that I apply to my roots to add a lift, and that is a dry shampoo. And sometimes I even will do this on my clean hair or on clients' clean hair to give added lift. And the one that I like to use is the IGK First Class Charcoal Detox Dry Shampoo. This one works really well. It's pretty heavy duty. I also like the Living Proof PhD Dry Shampoo. Both will create volume in your hair and blend in pretty well. And I'll just do that in this top section, spraying in underneath, you know, kind of like that, little by little at my roots. I already have some in here, so I don't really need a whole lot. And all up and back here. That in itself will help create volume that will last days. This one in particular is pretty heavy duty and it'll stay in and keep absorbing days at a time. Whereas like the Living Proof one and IGK's invisible lighter version of dry shampoo, they are not quite as heavy duty, and so they may need reapplying the next day. That is another go-to product for volume. But like I said, my go-to is this. And how easy is that? This thing's super cheap. It works, I would say, 99% of the time. And so that's my method. I wish I could just do this on all my clients in the salon. It takes too long to air dry them that way. I will do that if I have my hood dryer on them or something like that. But usually end up doing the round brush method, and sometimes I'll even incorporate, you know, some rollers or something like that. So those are my methods. If any of that was helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe. I have other videos on how to refresh your curls and ways to use hot tools to make bedhead look polished. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. If you have any tactics that you would like to share, please put them down in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Gena out.